of, of every law-related problems. We are here to help you with any legal needs. We offer a variety of legal opportunities such as legal internships, as legal courses, legal competitions, and legal notes. Our main goal is to provide quality education. Uh, Now, I heartily welcome our guest, Advocate Pooja Tiwari ma'am. She is currently working as a research analyst with the global research team of a leading consulting firm. She has worked as a legal researcher with the premier institution including National Law University Delhi, Indian Institute of Corporate Affairs and OP Jindal Global Law School LLM in corporate and commercial law from WB National University of Judicial Science. Ma'am, let's begin with our lecture.
Thank you so much, Janvi, and thank you, Akshay, for organizing such nice sessions wherein we can get an opportunity to discuss at a national scale. So I'll just give one heads up. I'm feeling a little under the weather. So in case my voice is not clear or you want me to get back to some point, please stop me then and there and we can continue thereafter. So I request organizers to mute all the participants so that we do not have any issues mid-session. Thank you. Yeah. So as you can see on your screen, I've tried to keep the session very comprehensive. I've tried to start right from what is research to focusing upon its importance, its categories, and what are the different bases or basics that are necessary for a legal writing. Because in order for you to learn different ways to undertake a research activity in an academic sphere or a industrial sphere or a corporate sphere, you have to know thoroughly what exactly is research. So I've tried to give an interface about it. So basically, there is no major difference per se if we talk about, what is the difference between academic and corporate research. The basics and the structures are always the same. You have to know the nitty-gritties of conducting a law. You have to know how exactly, uh, research should be conducted, what are its different parameters. So all of those notions are very important. And thereafter the segregation begins, thereafter the delineation begins, which area specific research should be conducted and the different parameters that are around. So in this research, in this session, we'll learn about all these notions, and thereafter we'll try to look into what all career options one can avail if you aim to have a career in research. Even if you want to go into academics, if you want to go into any other per se area, joining in an MNC or working with a non-profit organization. So research is one such domain wherein you can diverge your professional area into. So let's begin. So in this session, the learning outcomes that we expect are we'll be able to apply the conventions of effective legal writing. We will be able to apply legal research skills and techniques. We'll be able to identify the ethical issues of legal research, the ethical issues primarily at considering that we have the law students joining the session. So it's one such space wherein you specifically need to focus, because these learning starts right when you are in your college spaces. These are the things that you cannot learn right away when you enter into the professional arena. So it's important that you focus on them right then and there. Thereafter, now let's begin with our session. So the term that comes herein during our conversation again and again is research. We ought to know, want to know what's research. In order to understand, we have to know, okay, what is the term research. So research itself is a term which I request everyone to please mute their mics because it's causing a lot of disruptions. Hansika, if you could, I've tried to mute you, but yes, thank you so much. So the term itself, research, it actually defines that when you're trying to look into something, research, looking into something, or investigating systematically into materials or into the available resources, that process is called research. So if we have to put it into simple words, it's a systematic investigation into and study of materials and the sources in order to establish facts and reach new conclusions. So what you've done is you've conducted an investigation from this resources that you readily have available, or you may create them, and thereafter you continue with your further analysis and then you reach to a conclusion. So that's the stages that you go through in order to attain an information, or in order to create an information. So all these processes a research process. So basically it's a transit from unknown to know. When you are unaware, when you want to know, okay, today you step out and you want to know whether stealing a purse, whether it amounts to a criminal offense or a civil offense. So what you do is you do go online, you do a preliminary search, you look into a few legal clauses if they are available, or you delve into any article or a writing that's available, and then you draw out a conclusion. So in all this process, what you did was you researched whether stealing a purse is a criminal or a civil offense or not. Okay. So why we undertook this process, it always is drawn by a purpose. So there has to be a purpose. So research is predominated by a purpose wherein you are trying to explore anything. You're trying to look into whether, like in the example that we shared, we were trying to explore an information. All right. If we are telling someone that yes, it's a civil offense, then we are trying to look for its explanation. How can we actually explain? So even looking for that part becomes a research activity. So research actually lies in the core of every human being. Even a small thing, that a small news that you come across, you go online, you Google, so you're actually doing research. So basically when you're undertaking a legal research, it's more structured and it's more streamlined in with a particular objective. You're trying to either explore something, you're either trying to explain something, or you're either trying to look into the description that it holds. So by this we've understood that yes, research lies in our core. We have understood that for our domain specific research, you have to have a specific purpose. So next we would focus on what is legal research. So legal research is a process of identifying and retrieving information that is necessary to support legal decision making. So what we were doing in basic research activity, we were just we had an objective. Okay, this is what we aim to look for, and then we went on to looking for it either through primary sources or through secondary sources. So either we've gone online to look for resources, or we've gone into articles, book, or whatever sources were around us from where we can fetch the information. In legal research, we're doing the same thing. However, herein we are trying to identify or retrieve that information that is very predominantly important or necessary to support a legal decision. So what you must have interned at places, or some of you would have, are just in your first year. So what you do is, when you're interning at a place, primary job that you have to do is you have to see that which all cases have resemblance with the case at hand. So what you do is, and even if not that, during our legal coursework, what we do is we look into different case laws. So what we do is, we are doing the research work, we are looking into legal cases in order to get a final support for our legal decision making. So what it's making is, it's quantifying our data, it's justifying that yes, a following clause is supported by further studies or further resources. So this is a slight difference, or you could say categorical difference, between research and legal research. So same goes if we are doing, if we are going into medicinal research, or if we are going to, so it's very sector specific and it's very objective oriented. So it may vary from sector to sector, from domain to domain, from studies to studies. So now we'll dwell into what is the relevance of legal research. So it's the things that come to our mind is that, okay, we know about research, we know about legal research, but why are we doing it? What is the need of it? Why is it necessary? So for that, it's very important that we sensitize ourselves that legal research, as I've stated before, that it lies in our legal sphere or our legal landscape. So what it does is, it helps us understand what law is. If we do not have clarity, or if we have any confusion with regard to what law is existent or what law is not existent, so what we do is, we look for it. The simple thing that we do is, we look for it. So how is the research activity helping us? It's helping us to understand what the law is. All right. Next, what it's doing is, okay, you have clarity, you were able to trace the law. You may have some further confusions, or you may foresee a few ambiguities. So yet again, what you're doing is, you're conducting a legal research. You're looking into the available legal resources which may support your hypothesis, or which may not support your hypothesis. Again, it may help you to critically examine whether the law is in order or not. It assists in ensuring that, okay, the law is consistent, the law has certain level of stability, and whether it corroborates the underlying objective or not. Next, it also helps to conduct social audit. So let's say you have to undertake a study upon what is the condition of under trial prisoners. So it's a social audit that you are aiming to conduct. So what you do is, you go through the relevant process, you go to those relevant factors that may affect under trial prisoners situation, and then you conduct a social audit to overall or a comprehensive understanding of state of our under trial prisoners and whatever your hypothesis is. So all that process is a social audit that you're undertaking. Next. So there are many forms of legal research. However, at this juncture, the most important, or the most, I'll say, uh, investing at your stage categories would be. So these are the specific categories that we would discuss here. A, doctrinal research. It's nothing but a black letter research. So what you do is, there is a rigid research method. There are the simple research that we undertake in order to create an assignment, in order to give an argument. So it's just whatever is readily available, we just read it out, we analyze it, and thereafter we come to a conclusion. So that is a doctrinal process of doctrinal research process. Next is a non-doctrinal research. Investigate what the law is. So like in the case of what we're discussing, that becomes a non-doctrinal process of research. What you're doing is you're investigating whether a particular law exists or not, how exactly is it impacting, and thereafter, so what you're doing is all along you're going on the investigative process. You're dwelling into, okay, these are the law existent and this is the impact, and you're then assessing whether the impact is positive, whether the impact is negative, and thereafter you're coming to a solution. So here you're trying to either create yourself a resource, or you're trying to investigate from the available resources. So that also you're doing from a very ground level. So when you go for a field activity, or when you conduct an interview, all of those processes are involved in order to conduct a non-doctrinal research. Next is a comparative legal research. So what you do in a comparative legal research is you compare legal doctrines, legislation, laws, whatever is available in your country, whatever law is in the country, you compare it to the simultaneous law of the other country. So that process is called as comparative legal research. Next, Next is theoretical research. It's a very descriptive study. It's actually, very